Hey everyone, I'm Erin and I am a few minutes early for our 9 o'clock class today, but I wanted to come on early and share what's going on next weekend. So next weekend, I'm having a celebration weekend. It is the culmination of my 200 hours of training that I have finished up, and I am celebrating with all of you. I am doing an entire weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, free on YouTube of many different kinds of classes. I have the schedule right here. And I'm going to look at this so I can tell you what each class is, and then I will hold it up again. You can also find this on my Facebook page, which is Facebook.com/Valley Yoga, Facebook.com/Valley Yoga, or on my website, which is, I can't remember, valleyyoga.weebly.com, I believe, but you can get that off my Facebook page too. So, the first class Friday night is a restorative class. Restorative yoga is very quiet, gentle, and relaxing. Anybody can do it. We support ourselves with pillows and blankets, and we stay in poses for several minutes, but it is not a strain on your body. It's very relaxing. Saturday, 9 a.m., this class, like we do every Saturday at 9. Saturday at 11 is my gentle class. This is usually a Zoom class, but I am doing it on YouTube next week for free. No charge for any of these. Gentle is a flow Vinyasa class mostly, but it is very gentle poses. We move slowly and we come into them gently and we come out of them gently. It's really a nice class. Saturday at 2 o'clock will be a chair yoga. This will be completely with or in a chair. Your choice. You bring your own chair. You should also have a canvas strap or a belt or a bathrobe belt, something like that. We'll be using some sort of a strap on Saturday at 2 o'clock for chair yoga. Sunday at noon will be a kids yoga. This is not the storytime yoga that you already see on my channel. This is going to be for bigger kids. Little kids can join in. It's not going to be cutesy. It's going to be more like a regular class, but geared towards kids in the elementary, middle-ish school range. And then Sunday at 2 o'clock, we will finish celebration weekend with a stretch class. And that's just going to be just what it sounds like, a nice stretch out from all the work we've done all weekend. So you can join one or all of them if you want. I will be so excited to offer these free classes to all of you all weekend long. Share it with your friends, tell everyone, and it'll be great. So we have about 1 more minute till 9 o'clock, and I'm glad that this is working this week. Last week it was giving me issues, but it's not this week. So yay, we already have a couple people logged in, so that's great. And we will get started. And I do have Megan with me again. Come say hi. Hi. She's my trooper every Saturday morning, and every Friday Emma says I'm going to do it, and she's still sleeping. But that's okay. That's okay. She needs her rest too. So today we're going to start standing in mountain. Feet are hip distance apart. Shoulders are open. Taking some nice deep breaths all the way through to the lower part of your belly, and filling the middle of your chest and your upper chest. And then exhaling, completely emptying the lungs. Thinking about why you came today. Setting your intention for this next hour together. Taking anything else that's running through your mind and maybe just setting it right on the side of your mat and letting this next hour be for you. Your mind blocks the free flow of life by saying, "This is how things must and should be." Letting go releases you from this incessant grip, and when you let go, new forms of reality can enter. So while you're breathing deeply, think about letting go and see what new forms of reality can enter you and your mat today. Open your eyes, spread your feet wide, and we'll start with moonflowers. Sweeping the arms up, coming down into a squat, shoulder blades come together in the back. Inhaling up, exhaling down, making sure your belly button is pulled towards your spine and you're keeping that core engaged. And breathing, of course. One more, and then we'll switch to sunflowers. So coming up, coming down in the squat, but bringing the arms in front of you, sweeping them in a big circle. Still keeping that core engaged. One more. And come back to standing mountain. We are going to do some neck rolls. So first we'll take the right ear to the right shoulder. Take a few deep breaths. Left ear to the left shoulder. Chin to your chest. Look up. Now twist to the right and look over your right shoulder. And twist to the left, look over your left shoulder. Good. We'll roll the shoulders back. And forward. All right, now left arm goes up, right arm goes down, and we stretch high and over slightly. And switch. And come back to mountain. Next, we're going to do a chair flow. I'm going to turn sideways, but you can stay facing me. Sweeping the arms up, Folding, hinging from the hips, coming down into a forward fold. Maybe hanging out here for a minute, warming up the back of the legs. Reversing the swan dive, back up, hands come into prayer, and we come down for chair. Now we'll flow with the breath, inhaling up, exhaling, folding. Inhaling back up, and exhaling into chair. Again, sweeping the arms up, hinging from the hips and folding. Reversing the swan dive, and coming into chair. Inhaling up, exhaling, folding. Inhaling, reverse. Exhaling, chair. Again, sweeping up, folding. Reversing the swan dive, and coming into chair. One more time, sweeping the arms up, hinging from the hips, folding. Reversing the swan dive, coming into chair. Great job. Next we'll come into downward dog. So sweeping the arms up, folding, walking your hands out or your feet back wherever you are on your mat. Bringing your ears between your shoulders, pressing your hips into the sky, and then walking or pedaling the feet to warm up the legs. Drop in the knees, coming into child's pose. This is one of our resting poses. You can come to child's pose or downward dog anytime during our practice today. If you need to skip one rotation of something we're doing, that's perfectly fine. Child's pose can be done with your knees together, just like this, and arms out flat, or you can bring your thumbs up if that feels good. Arms can be back by your feet, or your knees can be wide. However it feels good for you is great. From here, we're going to come up onto all fours, making sure our hands are under our shoulders and our knees are under our hips, stacking those joints. We're going to inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, round the back. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Warming up the spine here. Working with your own breath. Really feeling your spine roll out from your tailbone all the way up to your head. One more each way. Come back to neutral spine and we'll come into spinal balance. So right arm comes up, left foot goes back, core is engaged. Release, and left arm goes up and right foot goes back. You can inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. If it's difficult, one arm up, that arm down, opposite foot up, and bring that foot down. And then you switch. You can do one at a time. That's fine. Always keeping that core engaged. One more each way. Great, and then sink back into child's pose. Pulling forward to a kneeling plank. Lowering for crocodile, dropping the belly and lifting the chest for baby cobra, and then pushing back to child's pose. Again, inhaling forward to plank, exhaling baby cobra. Inhaling, lift the chest, exhaling child's pose. Continue, inhaling forward, exhaling lower, inhaling lift, exhaling child's pose. Going forward for plank, lowering crocodile, lifting the chest, baby cobra, and pushing back for child's pose. One more time. Inhaling forward, exhaling lower, inhaling lift, exhaling child's pose. Flipping your toes, pressing your hips up into the sky and stepping forward into a forward fold, reversing the swan dive and coming up for mountain. We're going to start our sun salutations. I will do 2 rounds on each side, modified, and then we will do 5 full on each side. If you need to take a modification, take it. You can do the whole thing modified, or you can just take 1 or 2 poses modified if that's what you need. Grab a sip of water if you want, and then we'll begin. Inhaling the arms up, exhaling, folding, hinging from the hips, stepping back with your right leg into a low lunge. Arms come up if you can. Hands come down, left leg comes around, sinking back to child's pose. Pulling forward for plank, lowering crocodile, lifting the chest for baby cobra, pushing back. Right leg comes forward, low lunge. Hands come down, feet together. Reverse the swan dive and come into chair. Again, sweeping the arms up, hinging from the hips, folding. Right leg comes back again. Low lunge. Hands come down. Left foot comes around, sinking back into child's pose. Pulling forward for plank. Lowering crocodile, lifting the chest and pushing back. Right leg comes forward. Hands come to the mat, feet together. Reversing the swan dive. And chair. Switching sides, still modified. Folding. Left leg comes back. Hands come down. Right leg comes round, sinking back. Pulling forward for plank, lowering crocodile, lifting the chest and pushing back. Left leg comes forward. Hands come down, feet together. Reversing the swan dive and chair. Again, sweeping the arms up, folding, stepping back with the left. Low lunge. Hands come down, right leg comes around, sinking back, pulling forward for plank, crocodile, baby cobra, and child's pose. Left leg comes forward. Hands come down to the mat, feet together. Reverse the swan dive and chair. Moving into full posture, sweeping the arms up, folding, hinging from the hips, stepping back with the right leg into a high lunge if it feels good. Hands come down, left leg comes around, we're in downward dog, pulling forward for plank, lowering crocodile, flipping the toes for upward dog, hinging back for downward dog. Right leg comes forward. Hands come to the mat, feet together. Reverse the swan dive. Chair, sweeping the arms up, folding, stepping back with the right for a high lunge. Hands come down, left leg comes back. Downward dog, pull forward for plank, crocodile, flipping the toes for upward dog, hinging back for downward dog. Right leg comes forward. Hands come down to the mat, feet together. Reverse the swan dive and chair. Again, sweeping up, folding, stepping back with the right. Hands come down, left leg comes back. Flip forward for plank, lower crocodile. Maybe drop the belly and lift the chest for cobra. And hinge back up for downward dog. Right leg comes forward. You can always take a modification if needed. Hands come to the mat, feet together. Reverse the swan dive and chair. Again, sweeping the arms up, folding, right leg comes back. Hands come to the mat. Left leg comes back, we're in downward dog, pulling forward for plank, crocodile, upward dog, and downward dog. Right leg comes forward. Hands to the mat, feet together. Reverse the swan dive and chair. One more time on this side, sweeping the arms up, folding, right leg comes back. Hands come to the mat, left leg comes back. Downward dog, pulling forward for plank, crocodile, upward dog, hinging up for downward dog. Right leg comes forward. Hands come down, feet together. Reversing the swan dive and chair. Switching sides now. Sweeping the arms up, hinging from the hips, folding, left leg comes back. Hands come to the mat. Right leg comes back, we're in downward dog. Pulling forward for plank, lowering crocodile. Flipping the toes for upward dog, hinging back for downward dog. Left leg comes forward. Hands come down, feet together. Reversing the swan dive and chair. Sweeping the arms up, folding. Stepping back with your left. Know you can always sit out one rotation if you need to. Right leg comes back. We're in downward dog. Pulling forward for plank, crocodile, upward dog, and downward dog. Left leg comes forward. Hands come to the mat, feet together. Reverse the swan dive and chair. Again, sweeping the arms up. Folding, stepping back with the left. Hands come to the mat. Right leg back, downward dog. Pulling forward for plank, crocodile, upward dog, downward dog. Left leg comes forward. Hands come down, feet together. Reversing the swan dive and chair. Again, sweeping the arms up, folding. Left leg comes back. Hands come to the mat. Right leg comes back. We're in downward dog. Pulling forward for plank, lowering crocodile. Flipping the feet for upward dog. Pressing back for downward dog. Left leg comes forward. Hands come to the mat, feet together. Reverse the swan dive and chair. One more time, sweeping the arms up. Folding, left leg comes back. Come into the high lunge. Hands come down, right leg comes back. We're in downward dog. Pulling forward for plank, lowering crocodile. Flipping the toes for upward dog. Flipping them back, pressing up for downward dog. Left leg comes forward. Hands come down to the mat, feet together. Reverse the swan dive and come into chair. Great job, get some water. You should be pretty warmed up now. I'm sweating. Next, we're going to do a chest expansion. If you are able, clasp your hands behind your back and press down. If you cannot reach, grab a belt or a strap and hold it where you can reach and press down. If you don't have a strap, put your arms out to the side and press, pretending there's a beach ball behind you and you're holding it. All three of these open the chest. Take some deep breaths. Recenter yourself after that nice flow of sun salutation. And release. We're going to sweep the arms up, folding, bringing the hands to the mat, and walking the hands out or feet back, wherever you are on your mat, coming into downward dog. Get a nice position here. Ears between your shoulders, hips are high. Feet are trying, heels are trying to touch the mat. If they can't, that's okay. And take some nice deep breaths. I'm going to flow forward to a plank and then bring that right hand centered and open up into a side plank. Option to drop the knee here and kickstand it out if you need to. Bringing that left hand down, come back into downward dog. Taking some deep breaths. Flowing forward to a plank, moving that left hand centered under your shoulder and twisting open into a side plank. Making sure your hips are in a nice straight line and your spine makes a nice straight line. Coming back to downward dog. Raising the left leg up behind you, if it feels okay. Swinging it through, dropping the right heel. Toes are at about 2 o'clock. Engaging the core muscles and coming up for warrior one. Making sure your heels are in line with each other. Your hips are trying to be squared. Shoulder blades are down and back. Belly button is towards the spine. If dropping that ankle at an angle is difficult, you can just stay in high lunge. That's okay. Taking some nice deep breaths here. And opening up to warrior two. Pivoting that back foot just a little. Left leg still bent. Your gaze is over your left fingers. Right leg is straight with soft knees. Cartwheeling the hands down to the mat. Bringing that left foot back. We're in downward dog. You can stay right here or flow through with me. Plank, crocodile, upward dog, downward dog. Raising that right leg behind you. Swinging it through. Dropping the left heel if it feels good. Coming up into warrior one on the other side. Squaring the hips. Engaging the core. Shoulder blades are down and back. Opening up for warrior two. Right leg is still bent, looking over those right fingers. Option for prayer hands or hands on your hips here. Cartwheeling hands down to the mat. Coming into downward dog. Hanging out here or flowing through a half series with me. Plank, crocodile, upward dog, downward dog. Raising the left leg up, swinging it through, dropping the right heel, coming up for warrior one. Engaging the core, squaring the hips, dropping the shoulder blades, opening the chest. Opening up for warrior two. Looking over those left fingers. Breathing deeply and slowly. Dropping the right hand to the thigh, lifting the left up and looking at those left fingers. Left leg stays bent, right leg stays straight, and you're not putting any pressure on that right hand. This is not a stabilizing hand, it's just resting. Coming back to warrior two, straightening that front leg, shifting towards the left and down for triangle, looking up at those right fingers if it feels good. If you find you're hunched over a little bit like this, bring your hand up a little higher and open more. Just don't be on your knee joint. Anywhere else is fine. If you have a block, you can use a block like this, or like this, or like this. Blocks give us lots of options. Cartwheeling the hands down to the mat. Coming into downward dog, staying here, maybe even dropping to child's pose, or flowing through a half series with me. Plank, crocodile, upward dog, downward dog. Raising the right leg behind you, swinging it through, dropping the left heel, coming up for warrior one. Hips are squared, shoulders are down and back. Core is engaged, chest is open. We are feeling strong. And we're not forgetting to breathe. Good job. Sometimes Megan forgets to breathe, so I like to remind her. Opening up for warrior two. Looking over those right fingers. Keeping that core engaged. Feeling the heat in those shoulders. Dropping the left arm, bringing the right arm up and looking at those fingers right up top if it feels good. If that hurts your neck, keep your gaze where it's comfortable. Coming back to warrior two. Straightening that front leg, but keeping a soft knee to protect the joint. Shifting forward and down for triangle, looking up at those left fingers if it feels good. If that doesn't feel good, you can look down. That's fine. Making sure these shoulders are open. Core is still engaged. Stays engaged the whole time. Bringing the hands down to the mat. Right leg comes back. We're in downward dog. Staying here or flowing through one more half series with me. Plank, crocodile, upward dog, downward dog. Stepping or jumping forward, reversing the swan dive, and coming into mountain. Great job. Have a sip of water and we'll do a balance pose. All right. If you have a strap or a belt, go ahead and get it. We're going to do a big toe hold. And oftentimes this is a good pose to use your strap with. I can do it with and without. I prefer it with. It's more comfortable for me and I can keep my spine longer. So I'm going to show you, I'll show you both ways, but I'll show you with the strap first. This is also one that you might want to do right up against a wall. That's okay. Anytime you're working on a new balance pose, work on the pose with support first. Build your muscles, get your muscle memory going so that your body knows how it's supposed to feel. Then step off the wall and work on it, on the balance part of it, okay? So we're going to get nice and grounded on the left foot. Spread those toes. Take a few deep breaths. Get your core engaged, including your quads, your hamstrings, your abs, and your glutes. All that is engaged right now. Take the right foot, put it in the strap. You're going to bend the leg and bring it up. And then we're going to extend it out straight first. This is the pose. Arm can come up or out to the side. If it feels good, open up. And there's Megan's foot. Fantastic. You can all get a chuckle while we're balancing. Breathing deeply. And then the leg to come back in and relax. Awesome. So let me show you what it looks like without the strap in case you want to try it. Take your hands and do the same side and then we'll do the other side. You grab your big toe, extend the leg out, and then open. And that's what it looks like. So whichever one you want to do is great. If you can't get a straight leg, that's okay. And again, use the wall. You can put your free hand on the wall, or you can put your tailbone right on the wall and lean on it. All right, other side. Take a few centering breaths, ground that right foot, spread those toes out. Engage the core, quads, hamstrings, glutes, abs, all of it. Get your foot in that strap. Bend the leg, bring it up. Standing tall, everything's engaged. Extending forward first. Right arm can come up if it feels good. And then opening. And bend the leg to come back in. Awesome. I hope you guys liked that one. That's a fun one. And I'll show you what it looks like if you were using a wall to help you balance. So if I grabbed my toe here, I could just put my hand right on the wall, extend out, and then open. And then this is my stabilizing hand right here. So you can do that. You can have a chair in front of you, however it works for you at home, okay? Next, we're going to start our cool down. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me, but face front. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hinging from the hips. We're going to go into a half forward fold. So keeping a straight back and just letting the arms hang down. This is another place where you can use a block if you have one. Keeping a nice straight back here. Taking a few deep breaths. And then letting go into the full forward fold. Bending the knees, coming down into child's pose. Coming on up, we're going to sit and open our legs into a wide leg straddle, dragonfly, forward fold, however you want to call it. It has many names. Feet can be at about 90 degrees. They do not need to be straight out like this, okay? We're going to fold forward, straight back first, don't round, wherever that brings you. Breathing and feeling that nice stretch. Now around the back, let the neck go. Come on back up. This one's interesting, and I can't actually do the full pose of this, but we're going to do it anyway. It takes a lot of practice, and I'm working on it. So we're going to bring our feet together, but not close to our body, just like this. Take your arms, you're going to leave them underneath your knees, and then open the legs to that same straddle position and come forward. This is called tortoise. Wherever you are when you feel the stretch is great. The full pose is when your legs are flat on the ground with your arms under them and your chest is flat on the ground. I'm not sure I'll ever get there because of my hips, but I still feel a really great stretch here, so it's worth doing. Release the arms. Bring the legs back in. Maybe give them a hug. I hope that felt good for you like it did for me. And then we're going to roll onto our tummies. And we're going to try locust or Superman. Locust, arms are back here. Superman, arms are out in front of you. If you have any tenderness in your lower back, stick with locust. So we're going to lift the chest and the arms, lift the legs. And don't forget to breathe. And relax. Pressing yourself up onto your knees. Making sure your knees are under your hips here. We're going to come into camel. Modified camel, place your hands on the small of your back and just stretch back. Small back bend here, supported. This is great if this is where you are. If you want to go a little bit deeper, take your hands, grab your heels, and breathe. Make sure you can still breathe and you're not cutting off your air in your neck. Place your hands on the small of your back to support yourself coming back up. Good job. And now we'll come into child's pose to counter that. Coming on up, rolling onto one of your hips and bringing your legs out in front of you. We're going to come into boat. Boat has lots of options. You can be right here. That's fine. You can bring these hands out in front of you. Make sure you're on your sits bones so you don't wobble. You can bring the legs a little bit more straight and arms out. Wherever you are is great. Every time I do this pose, it's different. Some days I have a great boat and some days I have a really rocky boat. That's okay. Today's a little rocky. And relax. Rough waters, I guess. That was corny, I know. All right, next we're going to come into butterfly. So bring your feet, your soles of your feet together. And you can pull those right close to your body if that feels good. If you have any hip issues, keep them further away. That's fine. So we're going to use our elbows to press down on our legs and open up those hips. Keep your chest tall and your spine straight right now. And then come on down, round the back, round the neck, keeping those hips open and feeling that stretch through the whole spine. Coming on up. We're going to come into a seated forward fold. If you have a strap, you can grab it. Place that strap right around your feet. We're going to have a nice tall spine here. We're going to hinge from the hips, folding forward, but keeping the back straight. Feeling that nice stretch in the hamstrings. And then release the spine, round the back. Grab your ankles or toes if you can. Come on up. Now we're going to lay down on our mats. Bring your knees to your chest. We're going to do leg darts. So if it feels good, lift those shoulders and the head. One leg comes out, you're hugging the other knee. And then switch and switch. If this is a lot for you, you can do this with your shoulders and your head down. That's not a problem. Making sure you're breathing. One more each way. And hug the knees. Planting your feet down, hip distance apart. Arms are at your sides. We're going to roll onto our shoulders and lift the hips for bridge flow. And bring them down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Continue with your own breath. Core and glutes all engaged here. One more. Good. Extending your legs out for final relaxation. Or maybe it feels better to have the knees bent, feet wide, knees leaning in toward each other. Whatever feels good for you, get comfy. If we live in peace ourselves, we in turn may bring peace to others. A peaceable man does more good than a learned one. In these last few minutes, think about what you accomplished in the last hour, and think about how you can bring peace to your family, to your community, and to our world. Bringing awareness back to your room, wiggling your fingers and toes, opening your eyes, and when you're ready, rolling to your right side, supporting yourself into a seated position. We'll inhale up, exhale down. Taking deep breaths here, inhale up, exhale down. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope I get to hear that you guys join me next weekend for lots of my celebration classes. And I also have many videos up on this site already. I also offer Zoom classes for just $5 a piece during the pandemic, virtual pricing, and you can get 11 classes for $50 if you want to do a package. So reach out to me, message me through Facebook, or get in touch with me, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.